vape here right away. If it doesn't go today, it'll go tomorrow.
All right.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spend. Take another look now and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, right now it's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking time for hemp. I am your host, Casper Leitch. You are listening to the live broadcast of Time for Hemp all around the world on Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, and of course, iHeartRadio. I want to thank you for tuning in today and remind you that the last 3 days, you would think I'd be laying around the house, toking on my bud, just watching cartoons and feeling silly, but even though we were not on the air live due to holiday, yours truly did work his rear end off, and so did Sasha Goman, our other team member here at Time for Hemp, who runs the board and the website. And we have good news, finally, with the help of some other hardworking, dedicated activists, Eric Luella as well. We have all of the American Freedom Radio archives up on timeforhemp.com. When American Freedom Radio went under, it was sad to say the least. Good friends there. I'd broadcasted with them for about 4 years. And we had that many archives to rescue. And we almost didn't, but we managed to save all of the MP3 interviews from 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013, with the exception of a couple of months in 2013, because we were oblivious to the fact that American Freedom Radio was struggling and going under. And so we really miss those people and send our love to them. They really did a lot for the freedom movement. But we've got those archives up on the timeforhemp.com website. And when I say we've saved all of the AFR archives, I mean the ones for just my show, of course. But they are now, when you go to timeforhemp.com and hit my bio page, you can scan down it and you can find all of the years to click on, and you can listen to all the past programmings that we've now done up to date, which I know a lot of people find to be very important, because many people do enjoy going through the archives and hearing what Michelle Rainey had to say. She's no longer with us, and Gatewood Galbraith and Jack Hare, who are no longer with us, have to say. And they use it as a point of reference at universities. They use it as a way of sharing information with doctors. And, of course, they use it as a way of staying informed. So you might want to, if you get a chance, check out timeforhemp.com. Not only is it just me there, but there's like 22 other hosts along with me there who are doing great programming. So wanted to let you know we've been working our rear ends off. We don't just sit around and smoke out just because it's a holiday. And just want to let you know there's more to find at timeforhemp.com. It is Tuesday. Tuesday is a way of putting a spotlight up on all of our hardworking activists in Canada and all the amazing companies up there, and find out what the news is reporting and what's going on hand. And my joint host each Tuesday is, well, unless he's in Spain partying with all of his friends. You know that, right, Kelly? Is Kelly Kriston from KDK Distributors. And I know Kelly was partying with all of his friends, too, up in Toronto. Right, Kelly?
Yes, there was a great event. The Champ Show was... again, of course, as always, so awesome to to attend these shows, especially for a guy like me being in the industry. It's a time when you get to see a lot of people that you deal with, and maybe only see them once or twice in a year. It puts a face to the phone voice that you hear all the time. It's a great place to network. Not to mention, it's an all-around great time. It's always had by all. This last weekend's event, of course, there was glass blowing. There was a cannabis cup and or a flower cup and a concentrate cup, and there was a boat cruise, and there was comedy and burlesque, and on and on and on. So, for those of people that were there, of course, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that weren't there, you'll probably wish you had been there, because you guys like Simon, who's been on the show from Serious Seeds, is present. There's nothing like talking directly to the breeder, and garnering information and asking questions and that kind of stuff. Luke was there from Paradise. Hemp was there. So it's, there are lots of speakers, there are doctors, there are people there to help you with applying for your license. I mean, it's from top to bottom. There are retailers there, there are hydroponic companies there, there's a vapor lounge on site. It's accommodating, it's fun and fact-filled event. Leap is, Normal is there. So if you're involved in any way, shape, or form, or wish to get involved, it's also a great show to attend. I can't say enough about it. Of course, for me, from morning, noon, and night, on the first night, I think I got 2 hours sleep. On the second night, I got 3 hours sleep. Finally, on the third night, I actually got a reasonable amount of sleep. But there's just, so much to do, and impossible to get it all in on the weekend. But an incredible event, and it was great to see all of the business people that were out there, and also the public on Saturday and Sunday that also support the show. And of course, we missed you there, Casper. We like to have everybody within our business community there, and we truly miss your presence.
Well, I'm sure going to make it a point to come next year. I'm going to start putting pennies in my penny jar and see if I can raise enough money to cover the cost of going there and back. Now, the last couple of times I went, we had the gentleman of the marijuana movement, known as Marco Renda, put it together, and he put it in a beautiful hotel. He, for one of his events, had the boating and a lot of bands inside. And it was pretty spectacular as well. How did it differ this time? Was it at a different venue, set up different? Was it laid out different, bigger, smaller, what?
Yeah, there was a lot of differences this year, of course, this being year 5. The first 4 years, it was the Treating Yourself Expo, and now that Treating Yourself is no more, Champ stepped into the picture and ran the show. One of the first differences or things that they instituted was instead of a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 days, all show hours open to the public, they designated Friday as strictly business to business. So you had to be a business, a retailer, a wholesaler, a manufacturer, a distributor, whatever the case may be. You had to be one of those in order to get into the show on Friday. So for us, of course, as a wholesale distributor, we have no interest in the retail sale of any products. So the business-to-business exclusive day was really great for us. Now, obviously, for the retailers, not such a good day, I'm sure, and no doubt they would prefer having all 3 days open to the public. For me, I really like the 1 day. Of course, business to business. So for some people a plus and some people a minus. That was one major change. The hours of the show were also a change. They were open later and not as late, so less hours, which again, from an exhibitor perspective, is really awesome because it's quite a drain I mean, you work all week, and then you go there and you work extra hard in the evening, and then you got to be there in the mornings, and you set up your booth and then try and be prepared, and then you're extremely busy during show hours, and then of course after show hours there's events to partake in and dinners, and people customers we want to take for dinner, suppliers who want to take us for dinner, so it's really hectic and really difficult. So having shortened show hours was again a benefit to us. The look of the show was a much less classier, I guess is the way to call it. As with Treating Yourself, we had hardwall, and all the booths were carpeted and the hallways were carpeted. For this show, of course, none of that was included. It was pole and drape. So from it's just a visual perspective, and I suppose what the public perceives, and it's just, it's obviously a cheaper way to go for the promoter. And as we know, Treating Yourself, unfortunately, isn't doing the show because they lost a lot of money. So obviously, Champs took that as a cue and reduced a lot of those costs. Also, a very big thing from all the vendors was the increased cost on getting the materials in the door. Now it's all union, so which is fine, of course. And the promoter has two options. One, they can pay a blanket fee up front, and that just includes the move in and move out, and the labor is there, and it makes no difference as a guy on an exhibitor whether you have 500 pounds of merchandise or 5,000 pounds of merchandise. There was no charge to bring it in. In order to reduce cost, Champs went with the option B, which is to charge the vendors a fee for bringing the materials in. Now, due to the fact it's union, of course, we're not allowed to carry it in, so we have to allow them to do it. And their rates, of course, are ridiculous, $1.80 a pound or something. So you can imagine, I'll give you an example. One of the booths, which was a hydroponic company, they had a lot of nutrient, which they generally give away at the show. Well, they do. That's why they bring so much. And, of course, water being very heavy, their bill to bring in the merchandise for the show, just to bring it in, was $21,000.
Good
now,
Lord.
Yeah. It's insane. So you can imagine that company who didn't have that $21,000 bill last year all of a sudden has it this year. Now I know they spoke with them and they got it reduced. The last I heard was all the way down to $8,500. But still, even I said to him, it's supposed to make you feel like that was a gift,
Wow.
down from $21,000 to $8,500. But it's still, even $8,500 is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm all for paying the guys a fair wage and everybody, and allowing them to make a profit and all that kind of stuff. But let's be realistic. That is just it's just out of touch with reality, and so that's one of the major drawbacks to the show. Overall, of course, with everything there, with glass blowing and the vapor lounge, and very similar to what was before, so that was excellent. The show was provided everything and then some. If you attended the show, you probably didn't have enough time to see or hear any speakers, see all the people, and spend as much time as you wanted to, maybe with seed breeders or whatever. Trying to garner some information. So, hope to see everybody there next year that was there this year, and for all of you that for some reason didn't come along and were able to, I highly recommend it for next year.
Wow, that is a big difference. That's almost sticker shock.
Yeah, well, it's scary. I mean, I don't know. We don't even know what our bill is yet. I'm sure it's going to be ridiculous. The booth costs the same. We got a lower quality booth, and we had to pay extortion fees to get our merchandise in the show. So it's unfortunate, and it's not such a great thing, but I know that the promoter listens to everybody and so on and so forth. And I think, again, they may revamp it next year. No doubt they will tweak it and hopefully improve some of the things that we're lacking. And we can go from there,
And if they don't change that particular policy, do you think that will deter you and others from attending?
It'll deter us from maybe bringing what we want to bring to the show. It'll deter companies such as hydroponic companies who sell a lot of nutrient or fertilizer, and they want to bring it to the show and give it away free to the consumer. That's going to limit that, which I would rather see them not have to pay that huge fee and give away their nutrients to the consumer.
And was that just for the Canadian show? I know they do that. Shows.
Oh no, that's for all their shows. I've done. There was the THC expose in LA that we did. I know a company that had a $30,000 bill, and it's funny. You see their stuff. It's right out in the parking lot. They only have to move it 100 feet or whatever, 150 feet. And the bill is $30,000. I mean, it's just you just cringe. It's like, come on, guys, let's be a little bit realistic. And to give you an example, really, of how harsh it is, at that same expo, I was there. Marco had a booth. A great fellow by the name of Jeremy Norrie out of that area, also volunteered his time, so it was him and I in the booth. And the only thing we did, or the only thing we were there for, was to give away the magazine. Absolutely nothing more. So the pallet of magazines, when I arrived at the show, was already in the building, and it was placed 2 aisles away from where it should be. So I politely asked one of the forklift drivers if he could move it from there to the booth. He was more than happy to do so. He says, as soon as I'm finished dropping off the pallet I currently have on, I will be right over. And he was. So it took 5 minutes. I don't know, and I'm being generous because it was 2 aisles. So I don't know, 20, 30 feet, I don't know, whatever, less than 100 feet, he moved it. And of course, it took less than 5 minutes. The bill was $2,800 US.
Good
because the weight,
Lord.
because they rated on weight. Didn't matter that it took 5 minutes to do it.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business.
For certain. Yeah.
I'm behind me.
Those fees are over the top. I mean, again, hey, they need to make money just like the rest of us, but nobody charges those kind of fees.
How do they justify those fees? What was the justification for it?
I don't know. Union. They're working overtime. It's the weekend, man.
Oh my God! I don't think even a Hollywood sound set they could get away with that kind of crap.
Yeah, it's you can imagine if you're there as a vendor and you've traveled from a foreign country and you have all this merchandise there, well, it's like they got a gun to your head. You got to pay, or you've just wasted everything coming here.
Damn. And if you don't have it, they will at least send you a bill. Is that not? I mean, did they do that? Do they do it that way, or is it cash in the barrelhead?
They're going to send us a bill. So, like I say, I don't know what our official crazy moving amount is going to be.
That would be one bill I would drag my feet on paying.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to revamp, of course, what we send next year, and supposedly we were allowed, if we had our own vehicle, to bring our stuff in or whatever. But yeah, they wouldn't even allow that because I had a vehicle and brought my own stuff. Some of it, of course, that I get in Toronto. Well, there's another thing. The cabinets, you can rent cabinets. Cabinets cost $450 to rent. I went to IKEA and I bought 2 cabinets for $140, and 4 other cabinets that were $80, and use them for the show. And then at the end of the show, I just give them away. I mean, they're so exorbitant. I mean, $450 to rent a cabinet for 2 days. It's just insane. Like I say, I can buy them for less than half the price and then have the goodwill of giving them away, and I've saved 60-70% over what the show wants to offer. I mean, literally, $20 for a wastebasket you can buy for $9 at Walmart.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they get it back after the weekend and charge $20 for it again the next weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
Well, that just makes me so speechless that this is actually a good time to take a commercial break. I need to get on the phone to Champs and have those guys be our major advertiser. Shit.
Yeah, you bet.
The amount of money they spend on, the amount of money they brought in on just having 2 people move 2 stacks of boxes could pay for advertising for a whole year on my network.
Yeah.
I'm calling those people. I want a direct phone number to the clown in charge.
We'll make sure you get it.
All right, well, let's go to commercial break. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use PermaClone. PermaClone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat-sterilizable collars which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. PermaClone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Have you ever ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Thank you for taking time for hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. That was Rude Moon with a song called Legalize Freedom. And we had a little dead air there because I am still in shock at the shark loan prices that people were charged just to move 2 pounds of books 3 feet. It's like, really, people? Seriously, I'm in the wrong business. That's holding people up without using a gun. I love it. Well, I don't love it. I mean, But, at least you can find a way to be a crook without having to kill people. That's nice. Well, Kelly, I think I'm going to sell time for hemp if anybody wants to buy it, and I'm going to start doing hemp expos.
Yeah.
Well, I want anybody who's interested in buying my little company, give me a call today. I got to buy me a forklift for my little hemp expo company and get that thing going next week. All right, Kelly. Wow. Well, do you think you'll go back next year?
Yes. It's the only show in Canada for our industry, so it's a must attend for us. We'll just do it a little bit more on the down low, maybe not take as much merchandise, not take a bunch of giveaway stuff that we have to pay a ridiculous amount of money on it just to give it away. So it'll lessen the show, of course. We'll go with a smaller booth and we'll bring less merchandise. It's to try, and maybe with a smaller booth we can bring less staff and reduce our costs that way, and then we can afford to bring in some merchandise.
Well, I'm thinking the amount of money they charge, you could probably double your staff, give everybody really big backpacks.
Of course, next year we'll have a little bit more of that pre-planned. A little each day when we come to the show, we'll have our backpack and our little stroll-along suitcase full of goodies, so that we can don't have to pay $1.80 a pound to move it in the door, or once it's in the door, move it from there to the booth, anywhere from 10 to 150 feet away.
Dang. Well, okay, now that I'm still getting over the little, I'm the guy who stands in Walmart and screams, $3.50 for a T-shirt? Are you nuts? So, to hear that, you just know I'd have a cow. So, what were the excellent benefits from going to you said it's a must attend for someone like you. I know it gives you a presence there and people get a chance to see your quality products. But gosh, is there any other way to reach the consumers? And what other benefits was it now at this point for somebody to look at these champs events and say, yeah, I really do need to go to these things. These are good.
Well, for us as business to business is what we're mostly interested in. Of course, Canada being as small as it is in terms of population and so vast geographically, there's a lot of stores out there that just, can't find the time to make it there. First of all, it's very far away for a lot of people. And, so you have to close down your store, so you're not getting any income. Then you have to pay to get there, and you have a hotel, and et cetera, et cetera. So for them, it's pretty expensive. But for us, a benefit is that, if there are any new stores, if you're opening a store, it's a great show to attend, because then you can meet a lot of the manufacturers and suppliers that you're going to be dealing with and get advice and all that kind of stuff. Plus, of course, we're interested in any new stores that are opening, and it's a great venue for that, finding new customers for us. Also, it's a great way to reconnect with our current customers. As you know, it's always nice to see people that and you talk to on the phone and deal with regularly. Maybe go and share a beer and do all that kind of stuff. It's nice to have everybody all under one roof. And, networking, seeing what the competition is doing. There's a lot of pluses for us to be there. Also, it gives a presence that, we're here, we're strong, we're here to serve you, that kind of stuff. So from that point of view, it's a must attend for KDK. And we can reduce our overall cost of attending the show by reducing booth size, staffing, and the amount of materials that we take in, make it a little bit more respectable level. But then, of course, now that takes away from the trade show, because now our booth space is diminished, so the promoter's getting less money. Our merchandise that we bring in is less, so the union guys are getting less money, and we're not bringing any giveaway promo items because it costs us too much to give it away. So the consumer loses out. So, it's diminished all the way around, but we will still always have a presence there, regardless of how we take on the show with a diminished presence in stock and staff, or, try to put on our best face and have a big booth and lots of people there and lots of stuff to give away to the consumer.
Wow. Well, okay. All right. I guess on the overall then it does pay off for somebody to who's into a cannabis business to make this part of their annual events.
You bet. I highly recommend it. Again, it's only once a year. It's the only trade show of its kind in Canada. So, yes, it's important to businesses to be there.
Well, and now, did you see anything new and groovy and just must have while you were there?
Not particularly. There were a couple new vapes that I hadn't seen before that I was interested in. Of course, I think they're too much money, but we'll look into them. We're always always looking for new products, of course. And for us, this particular show, we concentrated on concentrates because that was what was or is popular in the market right now. So we brought a lot of silicone products like oil slick and no goo and extraction tubes and butane. We had a big special on butane, dabbers, dishes, spray sheets, oil slick sheets, as well as we always focus on vaporizers. We had a lot of vaporizers there, but we did concentrate on concentrates. So we had torches and...
you concentrated on concentrate. That's pretty... I concentrate on concentrates. That's clever.
Yeah. That was our theme this year for the show. So we had a lot of new stuff. There's stuff that none of our competitors seem to have yet, like ceramic nails. I know they've been around a little bit now, but, we were the only ones there with them. We had a new torch from... Blazer torches, which of course is Blazer torches are one of the highest quality, if not the highest quality torches on the market. They're fairly pricey, so they developed one that was a lot less money, and we can retail around $40 to $50. Of course, retailers will decide what they're going to do. So that was really good. We did very well with that, of course, because it was a torch that carried the Blazer name, and it was under $50 retail. It was really a concentrate thing. At the end of the show, we had dealers come along and just, we'll take all of your no goo stuff, or we'll take all of your oil slick stuff before we left. So it was really good in that aspect.
Well, I think I would have had a lot of fun at this event, it sounds like. Now, was there any bands that stand out? Was the music as good as what Marco...
You know what? There is no music. Even with Treating Yourself, and that music was only on for the 2 years, and then they switched to the glass blowing. Because what they found was they got a lot more interest in the glass blowing, and it was a lot less money than bringing artists to the event. Because, of course, with the artist, you got to pay for everything for them, and they didn't generate any monies. And with the glass blowing, the guys pay for themselves to get there. And I don't know what Champs was offering, but through the Treating Yourself, I think they had like a $10,000 first prize. So I know they had to offer the glass blower something, but it's I think in a cost point of view and return point of view, doing the glass blowing was a little bit less money and provided a better return for the promoters.
Well, it sounds like you had maybe an opportunity to have a lot of fun after all.
Well, Saturday night was the boat cruise. I think you did I don't know if there was a boat cruise. Oh, there was. Marco did a boat cruise, I think, the year you were there. Again, there was events at some of the, there was a flower cup and a concentrate cup. One of the vapor lounges had a comedy and a burlesque show. So I think all the vape lounges probably had an event of some variety or another. So it's quite active. And they're, for this event, of course, some of them, they stay open later than normal and that kind of stuff just to accommodate all the, business people and activists alike and all that kind of stuff. So.
Well, with that said, why don't we just do a little commercial break and then come back and talk a whole lot more here at Time for Hemp. You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP cardholder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor. So come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use PermaClone. PermaClone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat-sterilizable collars, which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. PermaClone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Headshot Canada. Based in Saskatchewan, Canada, it is shaking up the medical cannabis industry. Headshot Canada helps Canadian citizens in getting a medical marijuana license. They do this by filling out the paperwork. They also help explain your needs to your doctor and also help find the right strain for your condition. For this service, Headshot Canada charges a nominal fee of $100 and your participation in a research and development study to test the effectiveness of different cannabis strains on various medical conditions. ingredients. Owner and founding farmer Tim Selinsky wants every Canadian to know that you have the universal right to a marijuana license. Unlike Compassion Club's, Headshot Canada's goal is to get the right strain of cannabis for the ailment at a fair flat rate price for the patient no matter the strain. Headshot Canada offers 57 strains of cannabis grown at family-owned farms in Saskatchewan as opposed to Canadian federal government's one strain of irradiated garbage grown in a lab. Go to headshopcanada.com.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Well, now, chocolate cake makes my poor stomach ache, and all those pills are too much for me to take. I don't like cocaine, cause it makes me all uptight, but coffee and reefer makes me feel alright. Crystal meth will make you high, and it's cheap.
You are listening to Time for Hemp live all around the world on timeforhemp.com, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, and of course, iHeartRadio. We are the only all cannabis network on iHeartRadio. Please share us with your friends. On Tuesday, we put a spotlight on the amazing activists up in Canada and KDK Distributors. One of my amazing friends and strongest sponsors is the joint host every Tuesday, and Kelly from KDK is also gracious enough to reach out into the community with a gift of love from him and his team for somebody who's sick and needs to take their medication healthily. Kelly, I'll let you share that real quick, like.
Yeah, you bet. For some time now, we've been giving away a very high-quality vaporizer called the Herbal Air to medical patients anywhere in the world, 100% for free. Yes, you heard right. It is 100% for free. We are interested in medical patients who use cannabis to treat their ailment or affliction, whatever it may be. And we're also looking for people basically it would be impossible for them to afford one. Where I live, a lot of the patients are on a disability called Alberta assisted income for the severely handicapped. And I know, excuse me, that the amount of money that they receive in a month, I find it really difficult for patients. I don't know how they can afford to pay rent, buy food, and get some medication, and certainly dream about affording a quality vaporizer. I just don't know how they live on so little. So I know that they're all, anybody that's on an ISH or a disability income could never afford a quality vaporizer. So those are the people we, of course, are interested in helping. And it's really super simple to get on the list and hopefully get drawn for a free vaporizer. Send me an email. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, contact info so we can get a hold of you. And send it to Kelly, Kelly, at kdkwholesale.ca. And, if you yourself are one of these patients, great, we love to hear from you. But all you others that are listening out there, certainly if you're involved in the movement anywhere, you know probably several people that are on assisted or disability income and could never, ever afford a quality vaporizer. So pass that information on, or heck, be really nice and submit their information, and hopefully they get drawn and we can get them a free vaporizer. Because I know each and every one here at KDK has seen the letters and the feedback that we get from these patients. And for a lot of them, maybe they never smoked cannabis in their lives or tobacco. So they're not comfortable with smoking. So vaporization, of course, is ideal. And for those people who did smoke and maybe they're getting elderly now and certainly shouldn't be combusting, it's also a bonus for them. But the biggest bonus to all of them is the fact that since vaporizers are so more efficient than combustion, patients use 50 to 70% less medication to get where they need to be. So for these people, it is a bona fide miracle for them, because if they can reduce their medicine costs by 50 to 70%, it's real bonus for them. So please, if you are, send us, and if you are not, you know someone who is in this position, please send them our information so hopefully we can get them a free vape.
Well, on behalf of the marijuana movement, Kelly, thank you so very, very much. That's very loving and gracious of you to do that. So, well, we are really down to like the last 3, 4, 5 minutes of the show. This gives you a chance to put a shout out to any events, magazines, places that people might want to show up and chill out and vape at, or.
Well, for this week, I want to give a shout out to all the wonderful people at Leap and Normal that were at the show. These organizations need your help and support as well as Casper does. For those of you that are listening and want to keep this radio program going, please go to his website and donate, because he's not in such a rosy financial position with taking on trying to run 24 hours of programming and extra shows and so on and so forth. And the burden is becoming pretty heavy on his shoulders. There's only so many hours in the day, and he does need sleep. So those of you that can and are capable of contributing, please do. It's imperative, I think, that we keep the program running. And even here at KDK, we're in a little bit of a financial crunch, but we continue to promote Casper because of the wonderful things he has done for the last 20 years and continues to do. A shout out to the Champs guys for picking up where Treating Yourself left off. Maybe we can negotiate a little less on fees next year, but still the same nevertheless. They picked up the pieces and ran with it, and I understand that the previous shows ran out of money and ran out of business, and that's why the show is no longer Treating Yourself. So I understand some modifications have to be made, but I think finding a happy medium between what we're paying now with Champs and what we paid in the past with Treating Yourself would really be beneficial. But anyhow, kudos to you guys for doing it, because otherwise we would not have a show in our wonderful country. And for that, we do appreciate it. And yes, Casper, we do appreciate you and Time for Hemp and all that you do. And I actually now, finally have come to enjoy my time on your radio show. I know in the early part of our support of your show was just, we didn't advertise, and I wasn't on the show, and we just paid for advertising but never used it, only because we believed in what you do, and we still do, of course. And I really hope that listeners out there and our businesses do hear that, Casper is just like the rest of us. He needs to eat, needs to pay rent, he needs to have staff in order to run his show. And I can guarantee you, there is no leaner operation in the world. If you saw his budget and how much money he has to work with, I think you'd all be shocked and amazed.
Exactly. I have been surprised as to how much we've accomplished on hardly anything. And I just keep telling the people around me, can you imagine if we had a real budget, that places like High Times has, or a radio station has, or even a standard regular business?
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a struggle there for you, as it is. And I mean, for all businesses, they go through periods where there's a struggle now and again. But you've been on a shoestring for 20 years, man. It'd be nice to get a steak next week.
It sure would. It sure would. Well, I want to thank everybody out there for listening and remind people that we are a growing network. We have about 25 people, including myself. I think I make the 25th person, who are broadcasting all around the world. We got Andrea Herman coming on this afternoon, and we got Al Graham. Don't forget, we've also got a new electronic zine. Have you had a chance to see that, Kelly?
No, I have not.
Well, I want to let you know, Al Graham and his buddy Lisa put that thing together, and they did a beautiful job. And I would encourage people to go to timeforhemp.com and check out our zine, and also subscribe to it so you can also share it with your friends. And Kelly, if you print it out too, they made it so that when you print it out, it looks just as nice as when you're looking at it on your electronic device. And we keep it down to about 14, 16, or 20 pages, so it's not very expensive. So if people do want to print it out at a Kinko's, they can do so for like $3 or $4 and share it with their friends. So.
Awesome.
Well, Kelly, I want to thank you. Anything else you want to say before we wrap her up?
No, I think I pretty much got things covered. Just happy to be alive and continue on for another day. And hopefully we give another vaporizer here soon. That always makes me feel good. And it was an awesome weekend this past weekend. Thank you to all who participated, and we got to see and visit. And some of you, we even got to share a beer, a meal, and maybe a doobie. But at least some conversation along the way. Was great to see everybody, and looking forward to it again already next year.
Well, and we look forward to having you back next week, same time, same place.
Excellent. I expect to be here.
All right, and remember, the next time you hear me, you'll know that it's time for hemp.
Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spent. Take another look and spend some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, 'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yes, it's time for hemp. Whoa, an acre of hemp makes 20 bags.